And welcome to another edition of the TimeFlies podcast. I am your host, Dariel, and yes, I am repping the USA all day, every day. USA has just beat Serbia 110 to 84. Today was the first official game of the Olympics for USA. Let me start off with saying Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, the Durantula Slim Reaper is back, baby. After Kobe Bryant retired, Kobe, my guy, all day, every day. But after Kobe Bryant retired, I was definitely in the midst of like trying to find who my next favorite player is, and it went from Russell Westbrook to Kyrie to all these different type of players. But then it landed on Kevin Durant and just Kevin Durant's skills, man. 7 foot tall, putting the ball on the floor, shooting threes, mid-range, the ball handles. Like that was one of, if not the biggest highlight of tonight's game, man. Kevin Durant came back the whole time during the exhibition games. He didn't play in one game because he was dealing with a calf strain and Steve Kerr didn't want to play him. But after the exhibition games, and the last one was, I believe, last Monday against Germany, the reports and the articles that were coming out of the USA camp was saying that Kevin Durant was playing in like the 5-on-5 scrimmages. He was looking good. He had no setbacks. So I was kind of fully intending to see Kevin Durant play in today's game, and he did play. He came off the bench, and Kevin Durant had an amazing game, man. He ended up with 25 points, 5 of 5 from three-point land. I believe he was like 6 of 7 from the field. Like Kevin Durant at one point was just completely perfect from the field. But let's go back to the beginning of the game. So if you tuned into my previous episodes when I was talking about all the exhibition games that USA played against Germany, against Australia, against the South Sudan, one of the things that I talked about was Steve Kerr's rotations, Steve Kerr's starting fives. And I think in maybe like 3 or 4 of the 5 exhibition games, Steve Kerr had a different starting five. And in today's game versus Serbia, which was the first official game in the Olympics for the US, Steve Kerr started Steph Curry at the one, Devin Booker at the two, Drew Holiday at the three, LeBron James at the four, and Joel Embiid at the five. And Joel Embiid, I'm at this point, I'm not sure exactly what to say. I mean, I think Joel Embiid at this point, I think it's safe to say that he's there kind of for insurance. Specifically in this game against Serbia, Serbia being a part of USA's group, I believe it's USA, Puerto Rico, Serbia, and South Sudan. I think that's the group. But Joel Embiid, in my opinion, he's kind of just insurance for like the bigs that the USA is going to have to face in the tournament. Serbia today with Nikola Jokic. Germany has a plethora of bigs. France with Wemby. Like, I think Joel Embiid at this point, he just looked at his insurance. And I don't think we should be expecting him to be the Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers, which is like an MVP type player. Because one, he's coming off that knee injury, which we all know about. And because of that knee injury, he was doing rehab and he wasn't able to really work on his game. And on top of that, he's not really in shape. And it looks like he's kind of playing his way into shape. So Joel Embiid, going into this game, I was definitely keeping my eye on the matchup between him and Jokic. But interestingly enough, Steve Kerr, he substituted Joel Embiid out of the game and he put AD in the game within the first 3 minutes of the game. I'm not sure if that was something that Steve Kerr saw and he wanted to explore the matchup that AD would probably get. And it also could have been Joel Embiid's foul trouble. I don't remember exactly if he had 2 quick fouls. I'm not sure exactly. Besides LeBron James, you can say that AD has looked like the best player through all the exhibition games. AD is definitely in the conversation. Anthony Edwards in the conversation. LeBron, obviously. But to start off this game, one other thing that I noticed was Bogdan Bogdanovic in the exhibition game that USA played against Serbia last week. Bogdanovic didn't play, and I'm not sure if it was because of an injury or the coach just wanted to sit him out to play some mind games with Steve Kerr. But Bogdanovic played in this game. He's on the Atlanta Hawks right now, teaming up with Trae Young. He's a solid NBA player. He's looked at as a deadly three-point shooter, and I mean, it wasn't really enough to get the W in today's game. And Serbia came out really strong, man. It came out with a 10-2 run, and it kind of looked like the USA was a little just, it's not that they were like disrespecting Serbia, but they just looked like they needed to warm up a little bit to the game. And Serbia took advantage of that. And Steve Kerr called a timeout right away after the 10-2 run. So out of that timeout, USA came out with a 9-0 run, which definitely calmed me down. And this game was full of runs. So Serbia started with a 10-2 run. Then USA came out with a 9-0 run. And then after that, Serbia went on a 7-0 run. So this game was especially in the first half, it was definitely a game of runs. And then the Durantula, the Slim Reaper, came into the game. So Durant checked in with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first quarter. And KD started off high. He made his first 4 3-point shots and he was 5 of 5 from the field. And I think KD is going to add such a different dynamic to this team because during all the exhibition games, like I wasn't entirely sure how the USA was going to fare in this Olympics. I'm pretty confident that they were going to come home with the gold, but I wouldn't put my money on it. And now seeing Kevin Durant being added to the team, fully healthy, seeing how he played in this game today was definitely an admiration. Like he's not gonna go 5 of 5 from 3-point land. He's not gonna go 6 of 7 or 7 of 8, whatever it was from the field. Like today was a bit of an anomaly. The competition as the tournament goes on is gonna pick up. But Kevin Durant, what he's able to add to the team, and like when he plays, I think this team is certified gold, especially if he plays close to the level that he played today. That just tells you what Kevin Durant adds to a team. Without KD, I would say the USA will still win gold, but I definitely would have put my money on it, and I definitely think it would have been a lot more of a challenge. But KD being part of the team, and in today's game, he came off the bench, and I understand Steve Kerr just wanted to be careful with KD, so I understand that. Going for the rest of the Olympic tournament, if KD doesn't have any setbacks in practice and in scrimmages, I fully expect KD to take over that two spot for Devin Booker and Anthony Edwards. And that's another conversation. If KD is going to start at the two, is Anthony Edwards going to be the first shooting guard coming off the bench or Devin Booker? Devin Booker today had a really good game. And low key, he had some very important shots, specifically in the first half where Serbia was in the middle of the run and Devin Booker hit some big threes to keep it close. With Steve Kerr substituting Anthony Davis for Joel Embiid, we didn't see Joel Embiid until 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second quarter. So that's a long time for Joel Embiid to be sitting. And one other thing that I was going to be keeping my eye on was the turnovers. I believe in the very first exhibition game against Canada, I believe they had like 18 turnovers, which again, it was the first exhibition game. So LeBron, Steph, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, they were all trying to get to know each other, trying to learn each other's movements and their tendencies. And the next exhibition game was against Australia. And I think they knocked down the turnovers from 18 to 15, which isn't that much of a disparity, which isn't that much of a difference. But as each exhibition game went on, the turnovers went down. So turnovers was definitely something else that I was going to be keeping my eye on. And in today's game, they had about 9 turnovers with 2 minutes left in the second quarter. So, and I don't know exactly how many turnovers they had to end the game, but I definitely think it's around the 13 to 15 range. And as the games go on and as the players get comfortable with each other's tendencies, I fully expect the turnovers to go down. But overall, in the first Olympic game for the US team, I definitely liked what I saw. The one thing that I wanted to see since the beginning of this road to the Olympics, I wanted to see KD with LeBron and Steph on the floor, and I finally got to see it today. And man, KD, if he's gonna be playing like this, like I said earlier, like KD is gonna be a certified gold for US. And LeBron setting everybody up, Steph Curry hitting his Steph Curry threes, like all these momentum plays that every player on this team could really have. Every player on this team, you can make an argument that they can have one momentum play where it changes the energy and it changes the momentum of the game. And in today's game, it was 100% Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, with the way he looked, coming off that calf injury, hitting shot after shot, you could tell that everybody else on the bench was super excited for KD. They were definitely encouraging to keep going. And one last thing I want to definitely take note of is the two players that did not play in today's game was Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum. Tyrese Halliburton, I'm not really that surprised. But Jason Tatum not getting 1 minute on the floor, that's kind of crazy. Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant is back in the lineup. I mean, right now he's coming off the bench. It looks like he's probably going to be starting maybe in the next game. And the next game is against, I believe, South Sudan on Wednesday. But with KD back in the lineup, it looks like Jason Tatum is going to be the odd man out, which is crazy because Jason Tatum was just what, top five in MVP voting in this past NBA season. And you can make the argument that what was it like 2, 3 seasons ago, where Boston Celtics went up against the Brooklyn Nets in the first round, where Boston Celtics swept the Brooklyn Nets, you can make the argument that Jason Tatum was the better player. Jason Tatum outplayed Kevin Durant. Now, even though that was 2, 3 seasons ago, Jason Tatum, he's obviously elevated his game. There's that whole conversation that if can Jason Tatum be the best player on a championship winning team? That argument is still out there because Jaylen Brown actually won the Finals MVP, and Jason Tatum still has that monkey in his back, which is still crazy to me. But it's just interesting, man. Jason Tatum, who's definitely in the top five best players in the NBA. He's not even able to get 1 minute on the floor. That right there should just show you that the talent on this roster is ridiculous. Now, you could also make the argument that Kevin Durant, LeBron, and Steph Curry, specifically Kevin Durant, he's getting the minutes because of his name. He's up there in age, and Jason Tatum maybe should be playing over Kevin Durant. I just thought that was something super interesting how Jason Tatum didn't get to see 1 minute on the floor. Joel Embiid, I'm going to be keeping my eye on him throughout the Olympic tournament. I'm going to be keeping my eye on the whole Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker situation, and of course LeBron James, Steph Curry, and KD. Like that's basketball heaven. Like I'm gonna be tuning into every game. So that's it for me, guys. I'm gonna wrap up today's episode. If you're listening to this on any of the podcast streaming platforms, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. If it's on Apple, if it's on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you're listening to, Remember, rate, review, and subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, stop what you're doing, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be trying to put out an episode after every US game. The next game is against South Sudan, and I believe it's on Wednesday. So tune into the Time Flies podcast as I will be coming out with an episode talking about the game. But until next time, guys, thank you for checking it out, and I'll check you on the next episode. Peace.